Thank you. I'm very moved by how I feel and see your presence. And I came with 3 questions, but what happened during your opening was I was given a larger question that contains it all. And it's really, why do I see, literally see, non-physical, see a lot of the non-physical that's here, see cancer, see visions when a relationship ended a month ago, and I had visions that he was the one, and yet it ended. I am often in the receptive mode. I'm a writer by trade, and Source gives me.
It's really the point of what we were talking about earlier, because you can become more intuitive than you ordinarily are just by thinking more thoughts of appreciation. Thoughts are turning to things. What's happening in this time-space reality is that more and more of you are more consciously being affected by this vibrational undercurrent. There was a time, it sort of cycles through your physical world, but there was a time not so long ago when almost no one was even ready or wanting to understand that this is a vibrational universe. And so there is so much that is available for you to know and understand, but you have to be practiced in the reading of that energy. Most everyone, you know, from your eye charts and from the measurements that they do about your physical senses, most everyone pretty much sees and hears and smells and tastes and touches, of course with some variants and exceptions, but pretty much the same way. But you are also very intuitive and sensitive to energies around you. And the thing that is most important for you to understand is that whatever it is that you are picking up on is also active in your vibration. And so if something's active in your vibration, it's much more likely for you to read it and see it than if it isn't. When we said to you all earlier that we love you so much, we're trying to soften you up with words, it never works, but that you are sloppy about your thinking. When you're thinking about wanted and unwanted, wanted and unwanted, wanted and unwanted, then you have wanted and unwanted active in your vibration, which means you can pick up vibrationally on both wanted and unwanted. And that's why we're encouraging you to get back to the beginning, where only wanted, you see, your inner being will only offer a vibration of wanted. So when you are able to somehow quiet your being so that you actually stop the vibrational attraction on anything unwanted, in that quieted state, only wanted is now active within you, because only wanted is active within your inner being. So as you allow then that very basis of only wanted to be received by you, and you practice that feeling of what only wanted feels like, what happens is then you are less inclined to give your thoughts to those things that you do not want, and then therefore are practicing less and less of those thoughts that you do not want. Sometimes people would say to us, because it's very confusing for people, to get in that intuitive place. And by an intuitive place, we mean a place where you're translating energy. Well, translating energy is nice if you are guided enough by your own guidance system to know what thought or form of thought you are tapping into, because being intuitive and being able to read vibration is really not different than going to a library and being able to literally pick up any book and read it. And there are many books that you might benefit by reading and many books that are not beneficial to you to read, but you still have the ability to read them with your eyes, and you still have the ability to read them intuitively too, because they're becoming more prominent. The thought forms that are moving about your world today are becoming bigger streams and easier to see because of your connection through your social media and so forth. As more and more people are thinking more and more similar thoughts, it makes rivers and streams of thoughts. And so when a thought like that occurs to you and you weren't deliberately thinking, it just sort of popped into your mind, the tendency is to believe that it came from heaven, it came from non-physical. No, it came from the spin-off of man's conscious thought, and you were just a vibrational match to it. So really what you're asking for is, how can I get myself into vibrational harmony with my deepest knowing, with that source energy? How can I be guided not only from the perspective of what my inner being knows to be good and valuable, but what my inner being knows that is important to me? That's why the conversation that we had before you sat down here is really the answer to the question that you ask after you sat down here. We don't want you to feel like you are not wise enough to make decisions, because you are where you are, and you're ready for whatever you're ready for, and it's all okay. But what you're going to notice is that if you take the time, and we know that many of you will, if you take the time to get back to that centered basis of who you are, and then you experience the satisfaction of vibrations turning to thoughts and you receiving them, and then you're able through practice to stay quiet enough in your own mind that you don't introduce any clutter into your vibrational state, and then law of attraction expands that a little more, so that your vibrations turn to thought, and then your thoughts turn to more thoughts, and then your thoughts turn to impulses, and then your impulses turn to rendezvous, and then your rendezvous turn to experiences, and then manifestations are happening. So meditation helps you to get ready, to be ready to receive pure source energy. And once you receive that, and you know it, now you're ready to receive a conscious thought, which makes you ready to receive an even clearer thought, which makes you ready, which makes you ready, which makes you ready. And as long as the satisfaction factor is there all along, then you can trust where the guidance is coming from. But if you witness something that you don't like, a problem out here in the world, and then you center yourself some, not anything like that, and then you get an impulse about something, you have no way of knowing what stream of consciousness you picked up on, because you've probably got all kinds of cluttered vibrations going on within you about things you're worried about. And so that's why it's so important, especially now where there's so much movement going on, so many people moving so fast out here in this vibrational, not vibrational world, but out here in this actionary world, and most everybody just responding. So there's this unsteadiness that is taking place where you can't trust yourself. You can't trust what you're thinking, because there's chaos out there that you're picking up on. But more important, there's chaos in your own vibrational field, because you're more observational than you are truly intuitive. Does that make sense to you? Doesn't it make you want to go for the real deal? Doesn't it make you want to go to where you really are? And aren't you willing to be a little patient, to have no thought for a little while, than to try to fix these thoughts over here that are unfixable? You can't get there from there. You cannot get to love from hate out here. You just can't do it. There's too many people that will argue and tell you that your very loving actions aren't that loving. Everybody's got opinion about what everybody's doing. But when you get back here to your true basis, and when you have no thought that is contradicting who you are, and your inner being has undivided attention focused upon you, and you, by virtue of your willingness to just be silent for a little bit and quiet your mind, allow the full essence of who you are to fill you up, you're not going to miss that. You're not going to miss knowing what it feels like to be in tune with love and source and well-being and kindness and clarity and certainty and stability. You won't miss that. And as you practice it a little bit, then you can go further into a thought and still maintain it, and then further into a thought and still maintain it, and then further into a thought and still maintain it, still feeling satisfaction, still feeling good, being able to look into the world and see things that formerly set you off your balance, but now you are so balanced nothing does. We're not asking you to retreat into meditation. We're asking you to shore up your clarity so that you can move anywhere and maintain it. But if you only start over here, If you only start over here, you never get solid enough, do you? Have you been sort of kind of noticing that? Helpful?
Yes. There's a but. But what about when there's something you want so badly?
Can't get there from there. When you want it badly, the badly dominates. You see, here's the thing. Going over here and quieted your mind doesn't make it go away, because it's over here where you and your quieted mind are. So when you quiet your mind, your desire doesn't go away. You just gain access to it. Access that works. Getting ready to be ready, to be ready, to be ready. But if you're trying to jump in over here before you're ready, then you're not ready. And so you just keep demonstrating that you're not ready, which makes you keep asking for it more, so it gets stronger. When you want something badly, when you want something that much, you know what it means? It's really big over here. It's really big, and your inner being is really broadcasting routes, paths, directions, ideas. And the reason it feels uncomfortable to you is because you're not ready to be ready.
But it may not be with that specific guy or that specific job,
You're way,
right?
way ahead of what we're talking about, though. Of course that's not the right person. Or it is the right person and you're not ready. But in any case, what's the answer? Doesn't matter if it's not the right person or if you're not ready. It's still going like this. But if you go over here and you get ready to be ready, satisfaction. Oh, but what about that guy? Now you've lost your meditation. Might as well just get up and complain the rest of the day, because it's over for now. But if you get ready to be ready, 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 you'll have so much fewer wild goose chases. But the wild goose chases were so good because they were part of step one. They were what helped you to put what you want over there, you see. You know what you really want in a relationship? Someone who's ready to be ready while you're ready to be ready, and the universe says, hey, you're ready to be ready and you're ready to be ready. Why don't you go over there? Why don't you go over there? Oh, hi. And you know how you're both ready to be ready? It's because you're ready to be ready, and this looks like the best thing you've ever seen, and this looks like the best thing you've ever seen. You just want to take hold of each other's hands and just walk away together forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, because you were ready to be ready to be ready to be ready. But if you're not ready to be ready, it doesn't matter if somebody else is ready to be ready. You're not going to rendezvous. This one's ready to be ready. You're not ready to be ready. But I want it so badly. But I want it so badly. Go over there and get ready to be ready. This is a really good time for a segment of refreshment.